So welcome to the next module of HTML with me, Priyanka. In this particular module, we will be talking about the comments. Yes, the comments in any programming language has lot of benefits. So before we start looking at what comments are or how comments are used in HTML, let us try to understand the benefits of comments. Any knowledge that you will gain from here, my dear students, will help you understand comments in any other programming language also. For example, Java, Python, C#, any language. So basically, all the languages have got comments. And what does those comments do? Comments are basically widely used for the understanding of the code. So when we say understanding of the code, that means the comments are made so that the programmer who has written the code can add some description to the code lines, or also for the peers. So we understand that in a software working model, on a project, different individuals work together. So it could be one file accessed by multiple programmers, and these multiple programmers are actually using this particular code. So let's say coder A has entered some text or line in the code. If a proper documentation or a proper comment is added for what the code is doing, it will really help coder B, coder C and coder D understand what this code is about. So that is the main advantage of writing a comment. A comment helps a programmer to add some description which is understandable by the programmer and also by its peers. The second very important advantage of writing the comments is it really helps in debugging. And my dear students, if debugging is a new term for you, let me explain you what debugging is and how commenting helps in debugging. Let's say there is a programmer who has written around 10,000 lines of code. Now in this 10,000 lines of code, let's say the way when the code was executed, or I can say when the code was run, in that particular case, there was no problems, no issues in any of these lines. However, on the 8811 line, there is a problem. Because there is a problem in this line of code, the program cannot continue. So what can the developer do now? The developer will execute this code, comment this line so that he can at least be sure that the remaining around 15 and 19 and 1800 lines of code are working fine or not. So this is the main advantage. He can comment it for some time, try to fix the problem whatever is here coming here in this code of line, and then run the program. So see how debugging is very useful. Now we've discussed that when we talk about the comments, it helps us in debugging. It also helps in giving some data, or basically making the code understandable. In different languages, there is a different syntax of using the comments. All right. So when we talk about syntax, what is a syntax? Syntax is some set of rules that we follow. All right. So in the case of HTML, when we talk about HTML, we have got a different syntax. So in HTML, we use a tag, comment tag, which starts with the bracket, left bracket, angular bracket, followed by an exclamation mark. Then there are two dashes you will create. then you will write the comment here, and finally you will close the comment section using these two bars and this arrow. Please remember, dear students, that this will be used only in the beginning. This is never used in the end, otherwise you will start getting some errors. Okay, so in this particular case, let's say I wrote an HTML code. In order to comment this code, what I will use this. I will add the comment line and I will close it. Okay, and let's say I had a paragraph tag. I can also give a closing comment tag. Does it make sense? Right? So we'll see how it works practically, but remember, if you have a line of code, you can add a comment like this. However, if you remove this particular tag from both ends, this is how you can uncomment the code. So the word is uncomment, which is opposite of commenting the code. So what we will be doing now is we will be opening a notepad, or if you prefer using Notepad++, you can also use a Notepad++. And what we are going to do here is we will create a new file. Okay, we could also do one thing, use our existing file that we have already written. So in this particular case, I am going to add a comment. Okay, now one thing you have to remember, that we will never be giving this the exclamation mark in the end. In the beginning only we will be giving this comment. Okay, otherwise you might get a error. So over here I will give a paragraph tag in which I will say this is a description of the text, and I will end the paragraph tag. And I will say this is the end of the comment. Now please remember that when you make a comment in HTML, that comment, whatever text you give in the comment, is never visible. So what I will do is we will go back to the folder in which we had created the HTML files. We'll open this folder and we will execute the code. So when we will run, can you see that we've just what we have got is the paragraph tag, but both the beginning and the end of this is not visible. Okay, so this is how you can create a comment in HTML. Anytime you want to remove the comment, you can remove this particular tag from your HTML code. So I hope this is very clear. So just to summarize what we have learned in this particular module. In this particular module, we have actually learnt about what is the benefit of comment in any language. So the comments basically help the end user or the programmer to make the code more understandable. That is the first thing. The second advantage of writing the comments is basically for debugging. And we have also discussed that in order to incorporate a comment, we have to use this exclamation mark followed with two dashes and finally a angular bracket. So this is how you create comments in HTML. I hope this module is very much clear, and it is a very good practice to use comments. So going forward, if you're writing any code in HTML, I would recommend you to add as many comments as possible to make sure that your program is very much understandable. So hope you've enjoyed it. Stay tuned. Thank you.